Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Emiriki Stitches. It's been a while. Hope you're enjoying our videos. Please don't fail to subscribe and don't fail to click on the notification button so that you'll be notified on any new video. So today I'm going to illustrate on how to make a two-step flay dress. A two-step flay dress, overlap two-step flay dress. Please note, overlap full flay two-step dress. Now with these measurements we have: the full length, the half length, the shape, shoulder, bust, and the under bust. The fabric I'm going to make use of, the fabric here is chiffon. You can decide to use crepe or anything you wish for yours, but I'm using chiffon for mine, and I'm going to use 3 yards of fabric to illustrate this. I say I'm using 3 yards of fabric, and it's by 60. The inch is by 60. So before we set to work and start our folding and cutting, you're going to consider first the full length of the fabric. Here is 39. We're going to subtract 39 from 16 from the 39, which is the half length, and it's going to give us 23. Now 23, with what I'm going to take up here, I'm going to add it. You know, it's a 360-degree flay. You can decide to use a standard formula, which is you divide the 39, that's the full the 23, the shape, you divide the shape, which is 28, by 6.28. But in this case, most times I would when I use that formula, that standard formula, what I notice that the flay might be too big for the client, and it might need a little gathering effect at the waistline. So in my own terms, what I do is that I'll divide the shape by 4 and get the answer, which is 28 divided by 4. I have 7. Now I would still divide the 7 again by 2, which is 7 divided by 2. It gives me 3.5. Then I'll add half 0.5 to it, which makes it what? 4.0. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to add the 4.0 I have, that's 4, with the 23 we had. So it gives me a total of what? 27. So I'm folding my 360-degree flay, the first step that I'm going to start now cutting. I'm folding it 27 by 27. So I'm folding it now. Let's watch out and see. So I'll fold it like this into 2. That's 27. Fold my fabric, measure the 27, fold it into 2. Then fold it again into 4. Have this. Please note, this is for the first step of the flay. This is for the first step. Going to the 2-step, but this is for the first step. Then I will now use my, I have to confirm it if it is the 27 by 27. This side is much more than 27, so I'm going to still pull it out. But if I measure this way, here is more or less 28, so I'm going to make use of that one. Okay, I'm pulling this out. Okay, I think we now have the 28. Okay, now I'm placing my tape at this apex. This angle you've seen here is where I'm placing my tape. Then I'll mark out the 28. You can also take remember it was 27 we had, so I'm going to add 1 inch. That's for bending, for turning allowance. So I'll use 28 is where my tape is at the angle. Then mark. You can as well use this method for your flay, full flay skirt too. 28 28, 28. So that's how it is. Your tape and confirm if what you did was actually right. Okay. Okay, we now have our 28 there. Then for the length, and I'm going to take out my 4 inches there, like I said. That's for the radius. And remember, this will come as well with the, it accommodates the shape and the zipper allowance as well. I'm going to cut it out now. Okay, I'm going to notch. I will open it up using our dancing floor already. The 360 flay, the dangling dancing effect. So I'm going to set this for my first step, like I said. This for my first step, like I said, is. So I'm going to set, keep it away, then cut the second step. Seen it already. However you wish to. These are 360 flay. Okay. The second step will be a little bit smaller than this. We're done with the first. We're done with the first step. The second step now, I'm going to calculate. Remember, we had subtract our full length from the half length to have what we had. Then we add with the radius we got from the shape, and that gave us the 27. I added +1 to make it 28. So in this second step, I'm going to subtract 5 from the initial this thing we had. For 39 minus 16, we have 23. So I'm going to subtract 5 again from the 23, giving us 18. Now 18 plus the radius we got, which was 4, it's going to give us 22. So I'm folding the second step using 22. I'll fold the fabric. I'll still follow the same pattern what I did for the other one, for the first one, sorry. this is 22. I'll have to fold it. Please use your tape to check. Okay, let's check. If it is more than, then we'll pull it out. But what you have to notice that you must make sure it's more than this, up to 25. So I'm still going to pull it out to give me that 22 or at most 23. I don't want it to be longer than that. Still cheap. This is 23. Like I said, at most 23, because we'll have turning allowance too. So I'm going to still pull this out so that I will have same 23 here, 23 here. Confirm. 26. Still pull it out. We have 24 here. Still going to pull it out. This is 22. Pull it a little bit in to have my 23. Please, while you're doing it, you observe here so that one will not be, it will not be shorter. I think we have our 23 now. You confirm it again. That's 22. I'll still take the same 22. I'll make it 23 like I said. $23. 23. Okay, and we round it. Get your chalk. It's 23. Still the same method you use for the first one. Mark it out. have our first radius, rounded it, then we're going to take out our 4 here, like what we did previously for the other one. Still not cheap. This is for my second step. This is what I have for my second step. So if I'm placing this first step, so you've seen it already. Yeah, that's the first step. This is the second step. If you want yours shorter than this, you still follow the same formula. I gave you the calculation. You get it shorter than this, as I mean for the second step. This is what we've got for now for the 2 step. Now we are going to set up to start the upper bodice, which is overlap. Okay, so now we're done with the down part. We're going to cut the upper bodice. So I'll start first by cutting the back of the overlap. If you go through our videos, I think I've done something on this overlap before, but I'm still going to repeat it now. So I'm going to fold it according to the person's shape. Since we're using the normal that I'm putting only 2, according to the person's bust, sorry, I'm using 2 inches allowance. Oh, this is it. Okay, our bust here is 33, so I'm going to check 33 divided by 4. We have 8/4. I'm going to still pull this out. Okay, I think this should be okay. Don't forget there will be zipper allowance behind. It's not wrapped, so I'm going to keep space for my zipper allowance, which is I'm taking 1.5. So if this is my 1.5 here, I'm going to confirm if it will accommodate. I think it should. So I'm going to mark out my half length here, like what I have here. The half length here is 16 for the back length. The half length is 16. So I'm going to mark out the 1/2 1/2 for the zipper allowance. Okay, so I'm marking out the shoulder line here. I'll maintain the other side like my down part. Our shoulder here is 14 divided by 2, we have 7. Then our armhole, standard formula for armhole, how to determine armhole: you divide the bust by 4, by 6, then you add +2. In this our own here, I'm going to have 7. So I'll connect it, and I'll take up, loop my shoulder by 1 to the neckline. Then I'm still on the line of this thing. I'm going to mark on the armhole. I'm going to mark my 3/2, dividing the armhole into 2, have 3/2. Then I'm going to use that to round my armhole. So from there, I'm going to mark out her bust span to bust span. She's using princess breast cut behind. Princess cut, sorry, not princess breast cut. Oh, I'm sorry, princess dart behind, princess dart. So our bust span to bust span is 3/2. I'm going to add 1, making it, I'm adding 0.5, making it 4. So when it is held, it will return back to the 3/2. So I'm using 4. I will connect this. Then I'm marking out after the all my measurements start after the zipper allowance. I'm going to insert her bust here on the armhole line, but you can still create your bust line using your under bust. But in my own, you can still, if you use this one, it's still correct. So I'm marking out the 8/4, which is 33. Then with the 2 inches allowance, like I said, but this one is accommodated up to 2/2, so I'll still allow it because of the dart here. Now back the shape, her shape here is 28 divided by 4, we have 7. Still I'll still insert the 2/2. So I'll connect my line from the armhole to the shape. Now her neck depth here, up neck here, I'm going to use 3 because I don't want it that open. Neck, that's for the neck width, I'm using 3. Then down here, I'll take, for the neck depth, I'll take 1. This for the back bodice. That's for the back bodice. So I'm going to set up the front now. I'm done cutting the back. I'm going to cut the front bodice. Here in the front bodice, remember for the zipper allowance we put 1.5 inches behind, but for the front, since it's an overlap, I'm going to use 4 inches. I'm going to keep 4 inches space. Let's just check if you on it. Okay. I'm going to keep 4 inches. Okay, it will. So the 4 inches here, I'm keeping it as what we used to form my overlap. Then 4 inches plus the 33, which is 8/4, then plus the 2 inches allowance I'm going to keep by the side for seam allowance. But you know that's how you're going to fold your fabric. 8/4 plus 4, 12, then 12 plus 2, we have 16. So I'm going to first start by marking out the half length. Then I'll put seam allowance of 1. I didn't put seam allowance in the back length because our back length is actually shorter than the front length. While sewing, we're going to slope it. Our back length is 14, so we're going to slope it. That's why I didn't increase the back length. But here in the front and here the half length here, it's 16. So I'm adding 1 inch for seam allowance and the joining in the shoulder. Then everything will get back to 16. Half for the joining here, half for the shoulder joining. So we have 16 and 17 there. This is for the real half length and this is for the allowance. So like I said, we're going to mark our 4 inches here. Give 4 inches here. Please use your ruler and make sure you have a straight line there. Then all our measurements start immediately after the 4 inches line. So we're going to mark out the shoulder. Shoulder here is 14 divided by 2, we have 7. Then armhole, like I said, still have 7 here. We have to avoid ear lifting, you still come in by ½ inch and you have here like this. Okay, now I'm marking out the underbust line. Underbust here is 12. Underbust is 12. Then I'll take out 3. I'll subtract 3 from the 12 to have my nipple point, which is subtracting 3. Take your tape upward. You have 9. Please use ruler to make sure you have an accurate measurement. Okay, I just confirm. I have 3 here. I have 3. This is not pattern. This is direct cutting on the fabric, freehand cutting, sorry. So we have 9 here, we have 12 here. You see? So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my neck depth here. Remember, behind we took 3 for the up side. So I'm taking for the neck width, I take 3. Then for the neck depth, I still maintain 3. So I'll connect it this way. please use your cuffs if you have any. I'm going to mark out half 1 inch for my shoulders looking. Okay, now my dart, I'm taking 4. In this case, I'm not using princess dart for this. I'm using normal dart. 4 4. I'll stop 0.5, exactly 0.5 beneath. So this is where I'll stop. Then I'll hold here 0.75 in this other side, top to 1 inch, 0.75. So I'll still mark here too. I'll use half of 0.75 as well here. Remember, I took 0.75 here and 0.75 this other way too. So I'm going to connect it to form my normal dart. Same here. Please, like I said, use your ruler. Okay, and then you use your needle, machine needle, to notch here, so you can have a hole here. Now back to our overlap. You can decide to stop, mark it and stop, overlap it and stop at the under bust. It's your choice, but the one we're seeing there on the thumbnail and what our client wants, she wants it up to her half length. So I'm going to draw out this line here from the neckline to here, and this requires you use ruler, but since ruler is not available, please, I'm using free hand. Okay, please don't mind this. Please use your ruler so you can bring out this angle very well. My ruler is not close enough right now, that's why I'm doing this, please. Okay, using by taking it to where we have this half length. So I think it's time to cut now. Start here. I actually rushed over everything without inserting my bust. So you see her bust here, 33, and with 2.5 inches like what we did. Then I will still mark out our shape, 28, and I will still add the 2.5. Connect my line. See now I overlap already. So if I open it, please don't fail to notch. You have to notch here so that it will rhyme with the other side before you open it up. Have you seen our overlap? is the overlap. As for the front bodice, when you insert the dart, everything. We are done with the front bodice now, and the back bodice and the two steps. So what I'm going to show you now is the sleeve. That's the only thing left. And the picture there, we had a long sleeve, the one you've seen on the thumbnail. Has to be the long sleeve. And the long sleeve, the length of the sleeve here is 22. Like I said, you need 3 yards. Have you seen what is left in the 3 yards of the fabric? And even with that, we'll still bring out belt of 4 inches to tie on the waistline. So this is it. The sleeve length is 22, and the armhole depth there, armhole circumference is 17. Please, you use your pin to suspend the fabric if you use yours and it's shifting. This is up to 23, yes. Okay, this is a long sleeve. Like I said, the armhole depth, the circumference here is 17, and 17 divided by 2 is 8/2. So I'm going to still shift mine out because it's even more than, it might be too wide for her sleeve, for her hand. Okay, now this is 23. I'll mark it first out. I'm going to mark from her shoulder to where we have her elbow, which is what, 11. And like I said, the armhole, this thing, it's even up to 19 here, so I can trim some out notwithstanding. So I'm going to take this thing now. That's how I place on fold. I just divided the armhole, which was 17 by 2, to give me 8/2. But in this case, I've added it even up to 9/2. I might trim some out. It's my choice. I might allow it after sewing. I now trim it out. Okay. So I'm going to pull out 4 out here. Then I mark out. Remember, our armhole was 7, but I'm going to take up to 7/2 this time. So then I'll mark from here to here. If you divide that by 4, the 17 we had by 4, we'll have like 3 something 17, because this is 20, 29, this 18, we'll have up to this 16. See where 17 is 4/4. So I can decide to add up to making it 5. I'll just take it this way. From here to here, I'll take 1/2, but 2 inches is still okay. That's where the line I'm going to take it down from. Okay, then on this line I had measured the circumference. It was 10, so I'm going to take up to 12. Then down here we had 8, with this 8, which is 4. So I'm going to still add up to 1/2. So connect the line from here. I'm marking out the 8/2 I told you now. See where my 8/2 is here. That's the 17. So I will now take from the 17 here down here, and from here I'll connect it with one part. That's how our sleeve will look like. There's our sleeve. I'm done with the sleeve already. That's for the long sleeve. I'll notch. That's for the sleeve. So whatever is left here, I'm going to use it to form the belt, and then that's all. Apart from the piping, the turning, all the fabric we're going to turn with lining. So you can see, that's for the sleeve. Then we have bodice, the back, the 2-step. That's how the illustration is. Hope you enjoyed it. Please drop a comment if you've learned anything here, and please don't fail to share the videos and also subscribe. Thank you very much.